This is a Sage Story.
Hello, my name is Carl Barton, and I was born and raised in Miami, Florida. And my story goes back to when I was in college and living at home still with my parents. And one day, my mother said to me, "Let's take a ride and go to the store." And I said, okay. And she drove, and we went to the store, and then we were in the car, and she said to me that she had known that somebody had told her that I was queer. Back then, the word gay was not used commonly, and homosexual was not used commonly, and this was because it was in the late 50s and 60s, early 60s. So she approached me in the car by saying, somebody said that you are queer. And I said, really? Well, you know, I can't handle that. And let me tell you a little bit about my mother being a Southern Tennessee girl with only an education probably to the 6th or 8th grade that time of year. So her knowledge of the gay community was very mild. She knew nothing. The only thing she knew was from the front page, say, of the Miami Herald when a park was rated of queers. And they very rarely said homosexual or gays in those days. But she approached me in the car by saying, "And you are also one of those queers." And I said, yes or no, and I didn't know what to say. And she says, "Well, I have word that you are, and I can't deal with it. And I would rather see you dead than to go on with your life this way. It's not acceptable," she said. But she didn't know what it meant anyway. But then, and to my knowledge, I did see that she had a gun in the car with us. And that's when she said, "I'd rather see you dead." And she said, I would rather see you dead and kill you. You can't go on this way." And I said, "Well, that's it, Mom. That's who I am, and I'm very comfortable with it." So what I did is I packed a bag, and I did have a gay lawyer friend that was very close with me, and we made plans, and I got on a plane one day without her knowing. She had gone to work, and I went to New York. So we were out of contact for quite a few years, and she didn't know where I was, but other than New York. Someone must have given her a number of where I could be found, and she called and she said that I would like to talk to you. And I said, "Well, I don't know if I really want to talk to you because I think I've written you out of my life too." And she says, "Well, can I come to wherever you are and I'll meet you and we'll talk?" What had happened during that time of I wasn't with her, she had a large house in Miami Shores, and she had a renter in her house that was a gay man. During that time, he sort of schooled her into what gay life was and all of that, and she got a little bit more knowledge. My grandparents were not knowledgeable either in this type of a lifestyle. My grandmother was a Jehovah's Witness, which is even worse. She had bad thoughts. My dad and my mother finally got to the point where they divorced because there was so much problems within the household there that she was like left alone. So then she wanted to meet me, and I finally gave in and met with her, and she came to New York, and we had a nice visit. She met my partner at the time in New York, and she began to like him, etc. So again, it's one of those stories where we never were close after that, but we did, and were friendly to each other. She still didn't know what gay life really was about. And to this day, and finally, years later, my mother got ill and she passed away, and I did make all the arrangements for her. I flew down from New York, and I made arrangements for her funeral, etc. But it's a part of my life that I thought was very much different than other lifestyles that I had come across, because mine was more violent. She became violent at that point when she learned that she actually had a gun in the car. So it was her thought that she would have actually killed me. But thank goodness it didn't happen. And here I am today, and etc. So that's part of my life, and many more stories. Thank you.
Share your story at sageusa.org/Sage Story.